So this is my in-depth review of City of Heavenly Fire, Book 6 in The Mortal Instruments by Cassandra Clare. If you haven't read this and you haven't finished it, then turn off now because this review will contain spoilers. And come back, obviously, come back when you finished it. So, City of Heavenly Fire. I'll start by saying that I wasn't a huge fan. I mean, I liked them, but I wasn't a huge fan of the rest of the Mortal Instruments series. I loved the first one, kind of hated the second one, kind of got better from there. I always just felt that each book was based on why Jace and Clary couldn't be together, and they're moaning and whinging about it. Do you get what I mean? Is that a really narrow-minded view of it? Probably, and I probably get a load of hate for it, but that is what the books did for me. I really struggled to finish the books up to 5. By the end of book 5, like, I think I need to mention that I did marathon the whole series. Excuse me. I think that might have been one of my biggest problems because I didn't have a break in between each book, so it did feel like I've got something in my eye. Stupid eyeliner! Stupid eyeliner! Go away! Okay, we fixed it. I think that maybe if I'd had a little bit of a break between each book, that I would have liked them a lot better, but reading them one after each other, it just kind of felt like there was one problem after the other, if that makes sense. But this book redeemed that all for me. I would probably reread the series thanks to this book. So well done, Cassandra Clare! Yay! One of the things that I liked was how satisfying the ending was. I felt like, although I enjoyed the series, I don't need, as I would like another book, but I don't need there to be another book. I felt like all the questions I had and all the problems that I had been resolved. So I really, really enjoyed the ending and it was perfectly done. Kudos! The other thing that I liked was the fact that Magnus and Alec had their, like, debut kind of thing. Like, they had some of this limelight that Clary and Jace usually have. Especially when I found that, like, when Magnus is kidnapped and Alec is really struggling with the fact that Alec has been I meant as in when Alec is struggling with the fact that Magnus has been kidnapped and taken into the demon dimension. I think that scene where Jace asks him whether he's okay and he snaps at Jace and says, well, if it was Clary, would you be okay? And I thought that comparison was so well done. I think that, like, throughout the series, throughout the last couple of books, I think Jace and Clary became a little bit caught up on themselves, and it was refreshing to have that point of view that, like, yes, other people can be in love other than you, Jace. Like, seriously. And I do think that giving them a more prominent role in this book was such a clever idea, and I ship them so hard. So I'm so glad that they're back together. It makes me very happy. Very, very happy. Oh yes, and talking about Clary and Jace's relationship, I was so impressed with their relationship in this book, because it was real. I loved the fact that they couldn't touch and they couldn't kiss, because it brought some sort of reality to it, that it wasn't just like insta love and it wasn't just like gooey teenager crap. It was real, and I think that it showed a more delicate side to their relationship than the whole, oh my god, you're so hot, Jace, oh my god, kind of thing. I think that the fact that they couldn't touch and that they couldn't physically be together, that they would, I'm being stared at by people outside my window. No, but I think that they could, the fact that they could, I've lost my train of thought. Thank you, foreign person. No, yeah, the fact that they couldn't touch proved to me that their relationship was based more than on, oh my god, Jace, you're so hot, oh my god, I love you, kind of thing. And I also liked the fact that Jocelyn brings in the fact that Shadowhunters love, like, just one person in their life. And I kind of felt like maybe that should have been brought in a little bit earlier. But it makes me think of swans. So now, in my head, Jace and, like, Clary are like little swans. And I'm quite happy that they're together now. So, whereas before they just annoyed me. But this book, you changed it all. You changed my whole perspective on love. So, well done. Yay. I absolutely adore the prologue, and I adore Emma and Julian and the Blackthorns, and I love Ty, and oh, I'm so excited for the new series because I think I'm going to prefer the characters in this series than I did in Mortal Instruments, and I'm really, really excited to see why Ty is the way he is, because he just seems really cool. Obviously, it will be based on Emma and Julian's relationship, but Ty. So, yeah, Ty. I think that Jace and Emma's similarities are done very well. Like, I think that was, it could have become like samey, but she pulled it off. So, yeah. Okay, so here comes my biggest hatred of the Mortal Instruments series, and I'm going to get so much hate for this, but it wouldn't be a real life review if I didn't tell you that I hate Clary. Well, I hate Clary in certain part of the books. Her character really annoys me. I find it really hard to feel sorry for her. I feel like, I don't know, she just, she grinds on my nerves, and then her and Jace's storylines, especially, like I said, in the earlier books, irritated me a little bit, so I don't think I've ever gotten over the fact that she irritated me in the earlier books, so, but then again, she wasn't too bad in this book. I kind of got over my hatred a little bit for her, and kind of, I think it was maybe because she wasn't doing the pitiful, I'm Clary, I don't know what I'm going to do. I mean, there were certain moments when, like, they were fighting demons, and Clary's like, oh, she was wondering whether, no matter how good of a shadow hunter she became, would she still be on the side? And I was kind of like, you're fighting a demon! Like, get your head out of your ass and fight the demon. Like, seriously, come on, now is not the time to be questioning whether Jace will keep you on the sidelines or not. Like, it's pretty obvious that Jace loves her more than anything, so but yeah, overall she was an alright character in this book. She's still not my fave. Simon and Izzy and Magnus and Alec are probably my favourite characters, so she's still not made it up there. Oh, my leg's gone dead, my leg's gone dead, my leg's gone dead. No, I can't sit like that. Oh, that was painful. Okay, next, we'll just move past the hatred of Clary for a moment, because I know that loads of people like her. I don't know why, but loads of people like her, so we'll go with it. My leg is going dead. Okay, so my leg is no longer dead anymore. You will be glad to know. So, next thing that I want to talk about is the story outline. It was so good. Like, so good. It was pretty amazing for a book, to be quite honest. It is probably one of my favourite books of 2014. If we could just get rid of Clary, it'd be number one. But we can't. So I really, really like Sebastian's aim for power. I think the swap for, I think Valentine was such a domineering villain. Like, I think, like, you always knew that Valentine was going to be the villain because he was the generic, like, big, sweeping, black cloak kind of thing, like, whereas I think Sebastian, there was always, well, for me anyway, like, reading it, there was always a hope for redemption for Sebastian. I always, like, kind of hoped that he wouldn't go down the same path, and then he has. And I think his aim for power and, like, like his mental, I don't know whether I'd go as far as calling it mental illness, but his mental fixation on having Clary love him and want to be with him, I thought was very sad. Like, I couldn't help but feel sorry for him. I don't know why. I know I shouldn't feel sorry for him because he was like an evil pig, but I don't know, like the fact that he had nobody to love him, and even his own father was disappointed in him, and I just felt like super sorry for him. I can't feel anything other than super sorry for him. So I'm kind of hoping, like I was all the way through, I was hoping for redemption. I was hoping that he would sometime turn around and be like, no, I'm fed up of being evil, I want to be good. And then him and Clary would do like the running through the fields, like big sibling hug thing, and then they'd all be like dead happy and loving towards each other. But of course, it couldn't happen like that. No. So yeah, definitely, yeah. Sebastian was probably my favourite like character arc throughout the whole thing. In terms of story and Sebastian's like evilness, I loved the fact that the fairy people setup was so well done. Like, it was so well done. Like, I can't even process how well done that was. Like, in hindsight, I look back at it and I'm like, oh my god, I so should have seen that. Like, oh! And then I kind of kick myself because I'm like, oh my god, I should have known! And I didn't, so well done, Cassandra Clare, for keeping that one under wraps. Well, from me. I'll probably get loads of comments now, I'll be like, oh my god, I already knew, and I'll be like, ah! But no, I didn't know, and I thought that, like, when you look back in hindsight, I thought the setup was so subtly done, and so well done, it was ridiculous, like, and then, like, the big thing about Melon being, Melon, whatever his name, the princey person on the council, like, the whole fact that he was, like, part fairy, and that he could lie, mind blown, like, mind blown. Oh my gosh, I was so happy with that. I definitely think that the whole, like I said, with the fairies and stuff, I thought that like the storyline tied the whole loose ends together, like, oh, so good. I do think that, though, that the general storyline made the Shadowhunter community seem really small. I don't know whether that's because they were all packed into Idris, like idiots, waiting to be attacked. But, I don't know, I always imagined the Shadowhunter community to be so much bigger than it seemed to be in the book. Maybe, if, like, comment below if, like, you thought that as well, because, like, it really confused me, because I thought there would be, like, hundreds of them all over the planet. And apparently there's not that many, so I don't know, maybe, I don't know, they used like lots of numbers, like 400, and then like their numbers were bigger than 400, but then when like you look at the fact that they were all packed into a hall and stuff, like, I don't know, the imagery didn't really match up with the numbers, but yeah. Oh my gosh, and one scene that I really loved was the Iron Sisters coming to Jace's defense when, you know, it goes like, oh, heavenly fire on them and stuff. I absolutely love that. I thought that was such a good scene. Like, if you, just go back and reread that scene, like how good it is. We did not leave the Citadel, but the heavenly fire called to us, and then they like, oh, they just save his life basically from Sebastian, and then he like opens up the ground and disappears. So good, so good, so good. So yeah. And the other big scene that I really liked was, well, it wasn't really a scene, it was like a multiple of scenes. The scene where the demon shows them what their true desire is, and then like the little thing that's wrong breaks it, and it becomes like, oh right, that's wrong. And the one that I loved the most was Simon's, when he is coming home to Clary and he suddenly goes to say, oh, I love you, Clary, and then he means to say Isabel. So many feels, so many feels. Like, oh, so cute. It was so cute. It was like amazeballs. Amazeballs. So yeah, that's what I loved about the general like storyline kind of thing. This video is going to be so long. And then we will go on to the epilogue and ending. It's called an epilogue. I'm sure it's called an epilogue. Epilogue? Probably. Ooh, I loved the epilogue, which is surprising because I hated Rowling's. I don't know whether I hated Rowling's because I didn't want Harry Potter to end, which is probably a big reason, but I thought that this epilogue was done so much better. It wasn't done in the future, well, it was slightly in the future, but it wasn't done like massively in the future, and it didn't try to pretend to be anything that it wasn't. I thought that the wedding was so well done, and it was so, like, so Jocelyn and Luke. Like, I thought that it was a perfect ending to such, well, what must have been a really shit period of time, basically. Like, I do think that it was well done. Well done. And I thought that it didn't feel like cheesy or overdone, and like, oh, I forgot to mention, okay, wait, we'll just rewind a little bit. Jordan's death, like, it made me cry, but I was so glad that she did it, because it wasn't done for a shock effect, but it was done for like a reason, if that makes sense. Like, he genuinely did, he did need to die, I guess. I definitely think that it was a death worthwhile, and I thought that the twist that Maya was going to break up with him on the day that he died was very good, and like her becoming pack leader, oh my god, like my leg's gone down again, I'm not just shuffling for the fun of it. Oh my god, like her being pack leader is amazing. So exciting. But yeah, back to the ending. It was such a natural ending for the whole series, such a natural ending, so exciting. And give me I'm now sat like a mermaid because my legs refuse to cooperate today. So what was I talking about? Oh, and I loved the idea, just before we get to the wedding, the actual ending of the book, like not the epilogue, the ending. I loved the idea that Magnus put towards the fact that the fair folk had reacted to harshness, and that maybe if the shadow hunters treated them with something other than harshness, that maybe there would be like a better relationship. And I thought that this was such a good like setup for like the next series. Oh, I was like, Magnus, you know the truth. And I think it was a little bit obvious, but then again, what would life be if it wasn't obvious? And we are on to my last point. So just under 20 minutes and we're on to my last point. The re-emergence of Jonathan, oh my gosh, I cried. Like, it was so sad. It was. I think it was one of the saddest points in the book, and I definitely think that, like, especially when, you know, Clarice sees him as a normal person when she goes through the demon, and then we get like a glimpse of that being real life and him coming back, and like the hope that, like, I don't know, we have a sort of, I had a kind of hope that this was going to be his redemption and that he was going to come back and be the perfect son, and then he didn't. And I was kind of left kind of broken-hearted that he didn't come back and become the perfect son that everybody thought he could be. So, perfect ending. I'm glad that we did get that closure with Jonathan, though. I think that if we hadn't had, then it would have been a bit of a shame. But yeah, so that is my in-depth review of City of Heavenly Fire by Cassandra Clare. I'm really sorry that it was all over the place and a little bit jumbled, but that's me all over. That's me. So subscribe and go visit my blog down below. And like this video, give it a thumbs up if you liked it. And then leave a comment and tell me what you thought of City of Heavenlier, and if you disagree with anything, which I'm sure loads of people disagree with me on a load of things, but I love discussions. So yeah, give me a comment down below. Love you. See you. Bye.